Welcome to Inside the Firm, a podcast dedicated to small business owners and hosted by entrepreneurs, Alex Gore and Lance Cayko. Each week, they take you on their journey of how to start, run, and grow a business by bringing you inside their architecture and real estate development firm. Get a behind-the-scenes tour of how these business leaders manage their clients and foster company culture while creating new and innovative projects. And now your hosts, Alex Gore and Lance Cayko.
Hey Lance, how's it going?
As usual, it's
Amazing.
going well, Al.
Good. So, if you haven't heard me talk about BIM Smith, you haven't been listening. So, I don't know. Because I've been talking about it.
Have you?
They also, in case you didn't know, so you should know that you get BIM content from there. You can build BIM walls, floors, all that other stuff. You should know that already because you've been listening. The thing you probably don't know is that they actually do a lot of blogging about Revit tips, industry trends, and other stuff. So they regularly post guest articles, have a section dedicated to completed to project features. So if you got a project, you want to get some help or get noticed, hit them up so that they can give you some publicity. So go ahead, get in contact with them. Go to bimsmith.com to see what they have to offer.
Heck yeah. You're out of here next week, Al, huh?
I'm flying out of here.
What are you doing?
So I'm going to the ICF Construction
What does
Conference.
ICF stand for?
Insulated Concrete Form.
Bam.
So if you haven't heard about this, that's okay because I just heard about it last week. And maybe you can go next year. So you'll have to get... I'll put the links online. But Lance, see if you can go to this. www.nrmca.org.
Holy cow, you're going to have to repeat that, sir.
www.nrmca.org.
What is this? What am
Does
I
that
going
pop
to?
up? You tell me.
National Ready Mix Concrete Association.
Exactly. That's who's putting it on. So I'm going to give you the itinerary, and next week I'll tell you if it was good or not. So flying into Phoenix, right? Get in about, at 4. We're at the Hampton Inn. Then we get a guided tour of Taliesin West, which is awesome. Then a reception at Taliesin West. Then dinner at Taliesin West. And then we get to go
Dinner
back.
at Taliesin West. Wow.
I know.
I hope you see Frank Lloyd Wright's ghost. That would be cool.
I'll shake his hand.
You should. You'll have to bend down because he was small.
I hope he's wearing a cape.
Small man.
Yeah. Then the next day, so this is
they're sold
Tuesday.
out too. Okay, keep going, yeah.
Yep, that's why next year. So see if you can do it. Then you have breakfast in the morning. Then then the morning sessions, you have projects in the Phoenix areas, a hotel, church, homes, all that other stuff. So it's basically talking about these. I'm sure you get to ask questions. I'll give you feedback on how it went. Then you have lunch. They pay for lunch. And then you have site tours. So we get to go visit these projects, which is pretty awesome. And then they fly you home. So it's just 2 days straight, not like Monday night, then 2 days, and then come back, Thursday. It's just literally 2 days, which I really like. I think that's very efficient.
You're a busy man.
Doing busy things.
Doing busy things, you got to get it done. Yeah, I like it. Well, cool. You'll have to report back to us about how it goes.
Yep.
Let us know, man. You should take the mic. You should take some of this equipment. Maybe you just do some impromptu interviews down there. That'd be good content.
I could see.
Yeah.
Except,
you'll be busy the whole time.
I'll be busy, but
what
I'm
are you
not
going to
bringing...
do? So, yeah, why are you going down there?
Because we're doing a big project probably with ICF. We're doing a house with ICF, but now we're doing a big condo project with ICF.
And they're going to do they want to do ICF for the whole thing, right? I mean, like walls,
foundations, not only for the townhouse portion, but after we build the platform for the garage on top of there. So like the condo units in the big building too. So I'm pretty serious about all this.
That is pretty serious stuff. Wow.
Yeah.
Cool. I hope you learn a bunch of stuff. You're going to bring us back a souvenir? Now you have to.
Now
you have to.
Maybe for Nick. You think Nick deserves one? Probably not.
Of course he does.
Probably not.
Of course he does. Well, cool. Well, I have I was just opened up LinkedIn one of these mornings. I think it was Tuesday or something like that. And there was this article that came across my screen, and the overall thing was, it said, the sentiment was, instead of trying to find different language to use when you're making sales pitches, right? And it could be just via email, it could be on the phone, but following up with people and being more assertive with your language goes a long way. So I found the article, and I wanted to read it to everybody, and then get your take on it, because this is something that I have been trying to do, because I think it's real. I think it's I don't think the language that I was using before is as effective for sales, and I also think it's better for persuading clients, engineers, anybody we're working with to follow up, or kind of you're at the end of the day, if you're doing a design, you're still trying to sell it to the client, even if you've sold the business, right?
What's I think the opportunity here too is I've been sold to a lot. You've been sold to a lot, right? So let's just use a random example, a bank, right? And you meet with the banker and they have their sales pitch, right? And it sounds good. And Lance, you have a sales pitch, I have a sales pitch. But normally you only pitch that person once, your main sales pitch, and then you transition. I've heard the same sales pitch from someone multiple different times. It's like, man, I've already heard, like, you register in your head, like, of course they have certain points they want to hit every time. But if you don't vary it up a little bit, it's going to sound like same old story. So maybe this is an opportunity for everyone to get some fresh news stories.
Yeah. So this is by Jill Conrath, and it's sales prospecting, and the title is 3 Sales Follow-Up Strategies to Replace Touching Base. And that's why it stood out to me, because I'm like, man, we use that we use that colloquium, just that phrase in passing sometimes. I'll just say, hey, Al, have you touched base with them? So Marty's question, this is Marty's question. You often mention that it's bad to follow up with prospects by saying, I'm just touching base. I'm struggling to find a decent alternative. What do you recommend? Her answer was, it's more than just finding replacement phrases like checking in. When you leave messages like this, your prospect deletes them in a nanosecond. And I believe it. I believe it too. Worse yet, they see you as just another pesky salesperson. Clearly, that's not good. Here's the deal. To keep sales momentum alive, you need to provide value on every interaction, even a quick follow-up call. That means you need to rethink your entire callback strategy. Here are 3 approaches that have worked for Jill, okay?
Get your pens out, people.
Exactly. And then I'm going to try this. I'm convinced this is the way to go. Number 1, re-emphasize the business value. Your prospects will only change because of the impact you can have on their organization. Reiterate it. Remind them of how you can help. You might say, Pat, in our previous conversation, you mentioned how important it was to get going on this soon so you could realize the savings, eliminate redundancies, drive incremental growth that you need by year end. Let's set up time to talk so we can get you moving forward. So that's number 1. Number 2, share ideas and insights. Your prospects want to work with someone who's constantly thinking about how they can improve their business. Be that person. You might say, Pat, I've been thinking more about how we can help you increase sales, reduce costs, speed up productivity. I thought you might be interested in what we did with XYZ organization when they were dealing with the same challenge. Do you have a few minutes for a quick conversation? Number 3, continue to educate. Sometimes your prospects are still asking themselves, does it make sense to move forward or not? From the outside, you won't know, but you can keep giving them more reasons to change. You might say, Pat, I know it's a big decision to change from the status quo. That's why I thought you might be interested in this article, ROI calculator, case study, blah, blah, blah. Let's set up a time to go through your questions. See the difference? You're still providing value, even though they said they're interested, even though they told you to check back next week, even though they told you it was a slam dunk, they just needed to get their paperwork done. Drop the touching base and checking in mentality from your vocabulary entirely when making up follow-up calls. Become an asset in their decision-making process. This is when they really want to work with you. What do you think?
I love it. It just gives my brain more ideas to expand upon. And one of them is you can listen. You really need to listen to what they want, and you can ask them, like, "What's your hang up? What's stopping you? What do you need from us? To get this to work?" And then really see if your firm aligns with what they want. Meaning, if for an architecture, I don't have an example. I have a banking example, but you can translate this as, the bank says we need this, this, and this. And if you can't give them that, and you're always giving them advice on stuff that they don't need help with, then there's no wonder why you're not getting that business, right? So just make sure that you can actually help them on their real problem, right? So you were giving 3 examples, great examples about, helping. Hey, I heard you said this. This is how we can help you out. Make sure you just don't have the blinders on, like only pushing what you do. Make sure you really listen to what their hang-up is, if there is a hang-up, and be subtle in clearing those roadblocks, because that's one thing for sales is, and that's why speed, we always talk about speed. You're clearing the roadblock. You're making the path to yourself even easier. And the more that you align with their goals, the more it's a beneficial relationship for both.
Yeah. Exactly. So I'm going to do my best. I'm just going to completely eliminate. Hey, just touch a base on that proposal I sent over last week, anything like that. Just checking in. I'm gonna stop with that. I think the easiest route for me to do it is, like, the thing that comes to my mind is I'm actually gonna do this right after the podcast. There's a potential client we have down in Denver, and I'm gonna email them and say, what am I gonna say? Actually, it's gonna be something just straightforward of, hey, I spoke with the contractor. And I know you guys are looking to move forward on the project. Would love to help enable that. We are ready to go. I've prepared my staff. We've looked into the zoning, something along that line, right? But I think that's where it is. But, like, just really trying to avoid any of that just checking in on you, any of that just touch and base stuff, because it's not a sales pitch. It's more of, you look a little baggy. I think the more I think about it, you look like kind of like a beggar.
Yeah. Yep, that's great. I like that. So. Let's touch base with Nick.
Hello, best friends. Hope you had a great week this week. You gotta play hurt. A reading. When something doesn't fit anymore, we architects have the ability and responsibility to make sure our cities don't force us to adapt to outdated leftovers from the past, but actually fit to the way we want to live. Viewed in this way, we architects don't have to remain misunderstood geniuses, frustrated by the lack of understanding, appreciation, and funding. We won't even be the creators of architecture, but rather the midwives of a continuous birth of architectural species, shaped by the countless criteria of multiple interests. The world insists on conflict. The media craves conflict. And the politicians craving media presence need to engage in conflict to get there. What if design could be the opposite of politics? Not by ignoring conflict, but by feeding from it. A way to incorporate and integrate differences, not through compromise or by choosing sides, but by tying conflicting interests into a Gordian knot of new ideas. Yes is more. Bjarke Ingels. Al. I hate woodpeckers. Toodles!
Do I hate woodpeckers?
I don't know. Do you?
Something about woodpeckers?
Maybe you did.
Yeah.
Sometimes we forget what we say.
Yeah. The last part was interesting, in that quote. Not by being the opposite or fighting, politics or being on, this side or that side of conflict, but tying everything together in a Gordian knot of... It's interesting. I'm not sure I know what it means. I feel like there's
no black and white in life, right? Personally, I want there to be, but there isn't. Like, I want there to be. I want there to be like, nope, Lance is right or he's wrong. Either way, right?
Yep.
But there isn't, and there's got to be these compromises. And so if you think about our buildings in a lot of ways, I think there's an argument there that every single one is a compromise, right?
But it's sort of the way I'm taking this is that it's an opportunity. You got to think about this as an opportunity for opportunity. An opportunity to create. There's these conflicts, meaning, this land doesn't have anything on it. What needs to be on it? People think this, people think that. It's conflict, it's a tension. So what value are going to bring to make an opportunity? That's what I'm kind of taking from that read.
Fair enough. Well, I see. Yeah, so exactly. So maybe there's in the compromise, you try to see the silver lining and the opportunity for that, right?
Yep.
And that's a good thing. But the woodpeckers, man, what did you do?
I don't think I did anything.
I don't know. I hate. Why does
Maybe he's picking on me because I said let's check in on him, and he knew that.
That could be. All right. What do we got next, Al?
We have A.R.E. Jeopardy. According to IBC 1804.4, site grading, if a slope of 5% for the first 10 feet of ground immediately adjacent to the foundation is not possible, what is the minimum percentage allowed? So this is basically sort of like an exception. A, 2%. B, 3%. C, 1%. D, 2.5%. Forgot I had to read the answers. That you guys would just know. Ready? D, B, 3%, A. It is A, 2%. 2%. Okay. Number 2. According to IBC 1510.6.1, mechanical equipment screens shall not exceed blank feet in height above the roof deck. A, 18 feet. B, 10 feet. C, 6 feet. D, 20 feet. A, 18 feet. B, 10 feet. C, 6 feet. D, 20 feet. All right. B, C, C, A. A is correct again. Somehow, guesstimator over here. I'm sure you didn't know those, but he got them both correct. Go ahead.
All right. What do we got for score? Just
2 zeros.
2 and then all zeros?
Yeah.
Man, someone's been on fire 2 weeks in a row. No names. Number 3, what are the forces acting as at the supports of a structure which hold the structure in equilibrium known as A, reactions, B, hold forces, C, equal forces, D, equilibri. Oh. Equilibri. There we go. That's what it is. Yeah. Man, when I typed it out, it sounded like I literally got it perfect in my head, and then a tongue twister.
Yeah.
Read it again. Number 3. What are the forces acting at the supports of a structure which hold the structure in equilibrium known as A, reactions, B, hold forces, C, equal forces, D, equilibri. Bam!
Nailed it.
What do we got, dudes? A, D, and D. The correct answer is A. Congratulations. Structures 101. Equilibri. Yeah, equilibri. There you go. Equilibri. I felt like was a completely made up word when I typed it in, and then spell check, and then it wasn't. So that's how silly that one is. All right. What do we got now? 2-1-1?
Yep. So it could be a tie unless someone pulls away.
What is a man-made... So number 4. What is a man-made deposit of soil known as? A, manposit. B, deposit. C, fill. D, backfill. Lance's questions are comedy hour. What is a man-made deposit of soil known as? A, manposit. B, deposit. C, fill. D, backfill. I almost put B, woman posit, but gender fluid.
Yeah. To be fair.
D, C, and D. The correct answer is C. Did anybody get that right? Congratulations.
Hey.
What do we got then?
All right. Jason won. Thank you very much, everyone. Thanks for playing. If you like this podcast and want to hear more of us, go to revitrocketship.com. That's where you will learn Revit. Go check it out. Guaranteed that you'll like it. If not, you can get your money back. And
money back guarantee. Wow.
Money back guaranteed. And then go visit BIMSmith too. Those are the 2 things I have.
Yeah, the last thing I got is please visit if you're hopefully listening to this podcast through the iTunes app. Please leave us a 5-star review. If you're thinking about a 3-star, put 5 stars right on top of that. Helps with our rankings. Hope maybe one day we'll be a featured show on there, and then we'll have even more listeners. So thanks for everybody for listening. We'll see you next week.